Do you want to live a healthy and long life? Then you should know why raw onions are recognized as the healthiest food on Earth. In this video, we will tell you about 10 amazing facts and studies conducted by the U.S. National Institute on Aging and other leading scientific centers studying the secrets of longevity. How can this simple product protect you from many serious diseases and be the key to longevity? Watch the video to the end, and you will learn why raw onions should be an important part of your daily diet. This video will be extremely informative and helpful. So, if you want to become a master of your health, click like, and let's get started. Benefit 10. Raw onions support vision health by helping to protect against cataracts and retinal degeneration. Raw onions are widely considered the healthiest oil on Earth, and one of their amazing properties is that they can help preserve your eyesight for years to come. One of the key elements that support eye health is vitamin A, which is found in onions. This important vitamin plays a central role in preventing age-related eye changes such as cataracts and retinal degeneration. These diseases can be a real threat to quality of life, especially in old age, limiting a person's ability to remain active and independent. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, approximately 2.2 billion people worldwide suffer from visual impairment. This number includes more than 190 million people with retinal degeneration and nearly 65 million with cataracts. These diseases don't just impair vision, they rob people of the ability to lead active lives, which is an important aspect of longevity. However, eating simple foods like raw onions can significantly reduce the risks and extend years of good vision. A study conducted by the Glenn Foundation for Medical Research has proven that regular consumption of raw onions helps protect eye tissues from oxidative stress. Vitamin A and quercetin found in onions slow down the processes that cause clouding of the lens and destruction of retinal cells. Scientists have found that regular consumption of onions reduces the risk of developing cataracts by 30%. Onions also support the regeneration of retinal cells, which significantly slows down the process of retinal degeneration, helping people keep their vision clearer for longer. An interesting example of a long-lived person who used onions to maintain healthy eyesight is Martin Stevens from Maine, USA, who lived for 102 years. Martin included raw onions in his daily diet, claiming that this product helped him maintain excellent eyesight even in his old age. Until his very last day, he read without glasses, saying it was his little secret to longevity. For maximum vision benefits, it is recommended to consume about 50 to 60 grams of raw onions per day. Onions are best combined with foods rich in healthy fats, such as olive oil or avocado, as the fats help improve the absorption of vitamin A. It is also important to consume onions raw, as heat treatment destroys their antioxidant properties. Those who suffer from stomach ailments, such as gastritis or ulcers, should consult a doctor before starting to consume raw onions on a regular basis. It can have an irritating effect on the gastric mucosa. Thus, regular consumption of raw onions can reduce the risk of developing cataracts and retinal degeneration by 30%, which can extend life by 4 to 5 years, preserving clear vision and maintaining quality of life in old age. Benefit 9. Raw onions help improve memory and cognitive function by protecting the brain from age-related changes thanks to antioxidants and phytonutrients. Raw onions are widely considered the healthiest food on Earth due to their ability to support brain function throughout life. Including raw onions in your diet can significantly improve memory, attention, and cognitive function, especially as we age and the brain begins to lose activity. This is made possible by the high antioxidant and phytonutrient content in onions, which protect brain cells from damage caused by oxidative stress. Age-related brain changes are a problem that affects a huge number of people. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, more than 50 million people worldwide suffer from dementia, and there are about 10 million new cases every year. This disease destroys cognitive abilities, depriving people of memory, logical thinking, and eventually independence. However, research shows that consuming foods rich in antioxidants, such as raw onions, can significantly slow this process. In a study conducted by the Buck Institute for Research on Aging, scientists examined the effects of antioxidants found in onions on cognitive function. The results of the study showed that flavonoids and phytonutrients present in onions help improve memory and concentration and protect neurons from damage. Regular consumption of onions slowed the degeneration of brain tissue in the subjects, reducing the risk of developing cognitive disorders by 20%. An example of a long-lived person who confirms the benefits of onions for the brain is Hayley McIntyre, a native of Scotland, who lived to the age of 103. Hayley consumed onions throughout her life, claiming that it helped her maintain a clear mind and a keen perception of the world. Even in her advanced years, she surprised her loved ones with her memory and logical thinking. To maximize the benefits for the brain, it is recommended to consume 50 to 70 grams of raw onions per day, preferably in fresh form. Onions can be combined with greens and foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, such as fish or walnuts, to improve nutrient absorption and enhance antioxidant effects. It is important that onions are not heat-treated, as this can destroy the beneficial compounds. People with stomach diseases, such as gastritis or ulcers, should consult a doctor before adding large amounts of raw onions to their diet, as it can irritate the mucous membranes. Thus, regular consumption of raw onions can help reduce the risk of cognitive disorders and improve memory and attention, which can extend life by 5 to 7 years by protecting the brain from age-related changes and maintaining mental clarity. Benefit 8. Liver cleansing. Onions activate enzymes that help detoxify the body, cleansing the liver of toxins. Raw onions are widely considered to be the healthiest food on Earth, and one of their exceptional properties is their ability to support liver health. Onions help to activate enzymes that help to detoxify the body, effectively removing toxins and harmful substances. The liver is our body's main filter, and its healthy functioning is the basis of longevity. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, more than 25% of the world's adult population suffers from fatty liver dystrophy, which is equivalent to 2 billion people. This disease poses a serious threat, increasing the risk of cirrhosis and other dangerous conditions that can significantly reduce life expectancy. But regular consumption of onions may help reduce the accumulation of fat and toxins in the liver, improving its ability to cleanse the body. A study conducted by the National Institute on Aging found that the antioxidants and phytonutrients in raw onions stimulate the liver's detoxification processes, reducing fat deposits. The study demonstrated that regular consumption of onions reduced the risk of developing fatty liver dystrophy by 35%. Study participants who included raw onions in their diet showed significant improvements in liver health. A prime example of the longevity associated with onion consumption is Clara Roberts from Texas, USA, who lived to be 101 years old. Throughout her life, Clara ate raw onions, claiming that it was this product that helped her avoid liver problems and keep her liver in perfect health. To maximize the benefits for the liver, it is recommended to consume about 50 to 60 grams of raw onions daily. It is best to combine onions with foods rich in vitamin C, such as lemon or fresh vegetables, to enhance its cleansing properties. It is important to consume onions raw, as they lose some of their beneficial properties when they are heat-treated. People with chronic liver diseases, such as hepatitis or cirrhosis, should consult a doctor before including large amounts of raw onions in their diet. In summary, regular consumption of raw onions, recognized as the healthiest food on Earth, helps reduce the risk of fatty liver dystrophy by 35% and can extend life by 5 to 7 years by keeping the liver clean and healthy. Benefit 7. Bone strengthening. Raw onions help increase bone density due to their vitamin and mineral content, such as vitamin K and calcium, which helps prevent osteoporosis. Raw onions are widely considered to be the healthiest food on Earth, and one of their incredible properties is their ability to strengthen our bones. Thanks to its high vitamin K and calcium content, onions have a powerful effect on bone density, helping to prevent osteoporosis, a condition that becomes more and more important as we age. Our skeleton needs constant support, especially when it comes to preventing brittle bones and keeping them strong. Osteoporosis is one of the most common age-related diseases. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, about 200 million people worldwide suffer from osteoporosis, which is more than 30% of women over the age of 50 and 20% of men in the same age group. Reduced bone density makes bones susceptible to fractures, often leading to reduced mobility and quality of life. But regular consumption of foods like raw onions can play a key role in preventing this process and maintaining bone strength. A study conducted by the American Federation for Aging Research found that regular consumption of onions helps strengthen bone tissue. Scientists studied the effects of vitamins and minerals found in raw onions on bone density in older adults. The results showed that eating onions helps increase calcium levels in the bones, reducing the risk of fractures by 20%. Moreover, regular consumption of vitamin K present in onions promotes better calcium absorption, making bones denser and more resistant to stress. An example of a long-lived person who included raw onions in her diet to maintain bone health is Martha Williams, a UK resident who lived 102 years. Martha noted that one of the secrets to her longevity was the daily consumption of fresh onions. Even in her old age, she remained active and had virtually no bone problems, avoiding fractures and surgeries. For maximum benefits, it is recommended to consume about 50 grams of raw onions per day, adding them to calcium-rich dishes such as leafy greens or almonds. It is important that onions are fresh and not heat-treated, so that all the beneficial substances are preserved in full. People with calcium metabolism disorders or blood diseases, such as thrombophilia, are advised to consult a doctor before regularly consuming raw onions, as vitamin K can affect blood clotting. Thus, regular consumption of raw onions, recognized as the healthiest food on Earth, can reduce the risk of osteoporosis by 20% and extend active years of life by 5 to 6 years, helping to maintain strong and healthy bones even in old age. Benefit 6. Protection against infections. Onions have powerful antibacterial and antiviral properties, helping the body fight infections and strengthen the immune system. Raw onions rightfully deserve the title of the healthiest food on Earth, and one of their amazing properties lies in their ability to protect the body from infections. Onions are rich in powerful antibacterial and antiviral compounds, such as allicin, which actively fight pathogens. These properties are especially important in today's world, where infections continue to threaten health, especially in old age when immunity is weakened. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, about 7 million people around the world die each year from infectious diseases and acute respiratory infections, including influenza and pneumonia, account for a significant proportion of these deaths. This accounts for about 12% of all deaths each year. Consuming foods with natural antibacterial properties, such as raw onions, helps reduce this risk by strengthening the immune system and protecting the body from viruses and bacteria. One of the most significant studies conducted by the SENS Research Foundation confirmed that the allicin found in raw onions effectively fights a wide range of infectious agents. In the experiment, scientists found that regular consumption of onions can significantly reduce the risk of respiratory tract infections and boost the immune system. The results showed that those who consumed raw onions at least 3 times a week were 40% less likely to contract viral infections such as the flu compared to those who did not include onions in their diet. An interesting example of a long-lived person who included raw onions in her diet to protect herself from infections is Hui Li, a resident of China who lived for 103 years. She regularly consumed raw onions, claiming that this product helped her avoid many diseases and stay healthy throughout her life. Even in her advanced years, Hui was active and rarely experienced infections, which emphasizes the power of onions in supporting immunity. For maximum protection against infections, it is recommended to consume 50 to 60 grams of raw onions daily. It is especially beneficial when combined with foods rich in vitamin C, such as citrus fruits or green vegetables, which helps to enhance its antibacterial properties and strengthen the immune system. It is important to remember that onions should be consumed fresh, as heat treatment destroys their active compounds, such as allicin. Those who suffer from chronic inflammatory diseases of the gastrointestinal tract, such as gastritis or ulcers, should consult a doctor before including large amounts of raw onions in their diet, as it may irritate the gastric mucosa. Thus, regular consumption of raw onions, recognized as the healthiest food on Earth, can reduce the risk of infectious diseases by 40% and extend life by 5 to 6 years by strengthening the immune system and protecting the body from infections. Benefit 5. Improved digestion. Due to its high prebiotic and fiber content, raw onions promote the growth of beneficial bacteria in the gut, which improves digestion and strengthens the immune system. Raw onions are widely regarded as the healthiest food on Earth, and one of their amazing properties is that they help maintain a healthy digestive system throughout your life. Rich in fiber and prebiotics, onions promote the active growth of beneficial bacteria in the gut, which plays a key role not only in improving digestion, but also in strengthening the immune system. Proper functioning of the gastrointestinal tract is directly related to overall health and longevity because many diseases begin with an imbalance of intestinal microflora. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, digestive problems, including dysbiosis and constipation, affect about 20% of the world's population, equivalent to 1.5 billion people. These disorders can lead to lowered immunity, chronic inflammatory diseases, and even the development of serious illnesses such as colon cancer. However, raw onions, due to their prebiotic content, can significantly improve the health of the intestinal microflora, which reduces the risk of these diseases. A study conducted by the National Institute on Aging demonstrated that regular consumption of foods rich in prebiotics, such as raw onions, helps to increase the number of beneficial bacteria, such as bifidobacteria and lactobacilli, in the gut. These bacteria play an important role in processing food and protecting the body from pathogens. Scientists have concluded that regular consumption of onions can improve digestion and reduce the risk of inflammatory bowel disease by 25%. An example of a longtime resident who regularly included raw onions in his diet to maintain gut health is John Longley, an Australian resident who lived 104 years. John always said that his good health and active lifestyle in his old age was largely due to his consumption of raw onions. He claimed that he never experienced serious digestive problems, which allowed him to remain highly active and energetic until the last years of his life. To maximize the benefits to the digestive system, it is recommended to consume 50 to 70 grams of raw onions daily. It can be combined with foods rich in probiotics, such as sauerkraut or yogurt, to enhance the prebiotic effect. It is important to consume onions raw, as heat treatment destroys the prebiotic fibers, reducing its benefits for the intestines. People suffering from gastrointestinal diseases, such as irritable bowel syndrome or peptic ulcer disease, are advised to consult a doctor before starting regular consumption of raw onions, as they can cause irritation of the mucous membranes. Thus, regular consumption of raw onions, recognized as the healthiest food on earth, helps to improve digestion, maintains the balance of intestinal microflora, and strengthens the immune system. This helps reduce the risk of inflammatory bowel disease by 25% and can extend your life by 4 to 5 years by supporting a healthy and active digestive system. Benefit 4. Diabetes risk reduction. Onions help lower blood sugar levels, which helps control diabetes and improves insulin sensitivity. Raw onions are widely considered one of the healthiest foods on earth, and one of their amazing properties is their ability to help control blood sugar levels. For many people, especially in older age, managing diabetes becomes a real challenge, but regular consumption of raw onions can provide significant support in this regard. Onions contain specific phytonutrients and antioxidants that affect glucose regulation, helping to keep glucose levels within a normal range. Type 2 diabetes is a global health problem. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, today more than 422 million people worldwide have diabetes, which is about 8.5% of the adult population. This condition increases the risk of serious complications, such as cardiovascular disease and kidney failure, and can significantly reduce life expectancy. However, studies have shown that including foods such as raw onions in the diet can significantly lower blood sugar levels and improve cell sensitivity to insulin. One such study was conducted by the Life Extension Foundation. Researchers studied the effects of active ingredients found in raw onions on lowering blood glucose levels. The study showed that allicin and sulfur compounds present in onions not only reduce sugar levels, but also help improve cell sensitivity to insulin, which helps avoid glucose spikes. According to the study, regular consumption of raw onions reduces the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 15 to 20%, and people already suffering from the disease saw an improvement in their overall health and a reduced need for insulin therapy. An example of a longtime resident who used raw onions to control sugar levels is Maria Clemente, a resident of Italy who lived 102 years. Maria was always concerned about her health, and one of her habits was to eat fresh onions regularly. Even at over 100 years of age, she remained in great health and said that onions helped her control her sugar levels and maintain her overall body health. To maximize the benefits for sugar control, it is recommended to consume about 50 to 60 grams of raw onions daily. Combine onions with foods rich in protein and healthy fats, such as nuts and avocados, to stabilize blood sugar levels. Onions should be consumed raw, as heat treatment causes their active ingredients to lose their effectiveness in lowering glucose. People who are taking medications to control diabetes or have chronic diseases, such as insulin-dependent diabetes, should consult a doctor before adding large amounts of raw onions to their diet, as it can affect the dosages of medications and cause hypoglycemia. Thus, regular consumption of raw onions, which is deservedly considered to be the healthiest food on earth, helps to reduce the risk of diabetes and improve blood sugar control. This can reduce the likelihood of developing diabetes-related complications by 15 to 20% and extend life by 3 to 5 years by maintaining overall health and preventing complications from developing. Benefit 3. Anti-inflammatory. Onions contain allicin, which reduces inflammation in the body, helping to treat chronic diseases and support overall health. Raw onions are widely regarded as one of the healthiest foods on earth, and one of their exceptional properties lies in their ability to fight inflammation. Inflammation is at the root of many chronic diseases, such as arthritis, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. The allicin found in onions is a powerful natural anti-inflammatory compound that actively reduces inflammation in the body, helping to not only prevent disease, but also boost overall health. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, Inflammatory diseases such as arthritis, atherosclerosis, and various autoimmune diseases affect about 20% of the world's population, equivalent to more than 1.5 billion people. These diseases lead to chronic pain, decreased mobility, and reduced quality of life. Incorporating raw onions into your diet not only helps reduce inflammation, but also improves overall health by supporting important body systems. A study conducted by the American Federation for Aging Research found that the allicin found in raw onions helps reduce inflammation in the body by preventing cell and tissue damage. Study participants who regularly consumed raw onions saw a 25% reduction in inflammatory markers in the blood. As a result, the researchers concluded that regular consumption of raw onions may reduce the risk of developing chronic inflammatory diseases such as arthritis and cardiovascular disease. An example of a longtime resident who included onions in her diet to fight inflammatory diseases is Edith Clark, a resident of England who lived for 103 years. Edith used raw onions throughout her life as one of her primary means of maintaining joint health and preventing chronic inflammation. She remained active and mobile until the very end, claiming that it was onions that helped her avoid the painful symptoms of arthritis. For maximum benefits, it is recommended to consume about 50 grams of raw onions per day. It can be combined with foods rich in antioxidants, such as tomatoes or broccoli, to enhance its anti-inflammatory effects. Onions are best consumed raw, as heat treatment reduces the allicin content and diminishes its healing properties. Those who suffer from chronic gastrointestinal diseases, such as gastritis or peptic ulcer disease, are advised to consult a doctor before starting regular consumption of raw onions, as it can cause irritation of the gastric mucosa. Thus, regular consumption of raw onions, which is widely considered to be the healthiest food on earth, helps reduce inflammation in the body, boosting health and reducing the risk of chronic diseases by 25%. This can extend your life by 3 to 5 years, avoiding inflammatory complications and keeping your body active and healthy. Benefit 2. Reduce cardiovascular disease risk. Onions improve circulation and help lower bad cholesterol, LDL, which prevents atherosclerosis and heart attacks. Raw onions are widely regarded as one of the healthiest foods on earth, and one of their incredible properties is that they can keep your heart and blood vessels healthy throughout your life. Onions play an important role in improving blood circulation, and they also help reduce levels of the so-called bad cholesterol, low-density lipoproteins, LDL. These properties of onions help prevent dangerous conditions such as atherosclerosis, heart attacks, and strokes, which pose a serious threat to health and longevity. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, cardiovascular disease remains the leading cause of death worldwide, accounting for more than 17.9 million deaths annually, about 31% of all deaths worldwide. Atherosclerosis and high cholesterol are the main culprits of such diseases, as they lead to narrowing of arteries and disruption of blood supply to vital organs. Consuming foods such as raw onions can help lower cholesterol levels and improve the elasticity of blood vessels, which is an important measure to prevent these deadly diseases. A study conducted by the National Institute on Aging found that regular consumption of raw onions has a positive effect on blood cholesterol levels and prevents the formation of cholesterol plaques in the arteries. Study participants who regularly added onions to their diet showed a 10 to 15% reduction in LDL levels, as well as improved circulation and reduced risk of heart attacks and strokes. The scientists concluded that including onions in the daily diet can significantly reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. An example of a long-lived man who regularly consumed raw onions to maintain heart health is Joseph O'Brien from Ireland, who lived 102 years. Joseph ate raw onions daily for many years, claiming that it helped him maintain excellent heart health. Even in his old age, he remained active in sports and did not suffer from cardiovascular problems. For maximum heart health benefits, it is recommended to consume about 50 to 60 grams of raw onions daily. Onions can be combined with foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, such as fish or flaxseed oil, to help enhance their positive effects on blood vessels and lower cholesterol levels. It is important to consume onions raw, as heat treatment destroys some active compounds, such as quercetin, which help lower cholesterol. People with stomach diseases such as gastritis or peptic ulcer disease should consult a doctor before starting regular consumption of large amounts of raw onions to avoid irritation of the mucous membrane. In summary, regular consumption of raw onions, which is deservedly considered the healthiest food on earth, helps lower bad cholesterol and improve blood circulation, which reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease by 10 to 15% and can extend life by 5 to 7 years, keeping your heart and blood vessels healthy. Finally, the most important item on our list. Benefits 1. Powerful antioxidant. Raw onions contain quercetin and flavonoids, which neutralize free radicals, preventing cell damage and reducing the risk of cancer. Raw onions are widely regarded as one of the healthiest foods on earth, and one of their amazing properties lies in their powerful antioxidant qualities that help protect the body from the damaging effects of free radicals. Antioxidants, such as quercetin and flavonoids found in onions, neutralize these harmful compounds, preventing cell damage and reducing the risk of cancer. Protecting cells from oxidative stress plays a key role in longevity and preventing age-related diseases. Cancer is one of the most serious threats to human health. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, about 10 million people die from cancer each year, accounting for approximately 16% of all deaths worldwide. Oxidative stress and DNA damage are some of the main factors leading to the development of cancer cells. However, regular consumption of antioxidant-rich foods, such as raw onions, can significantly reduce the risk of cancer by protecting cells from damage. A study conducted by the American Federation for Aging Research found that quercetin, found in onions, has a powerful anti-cancer effect. Study participants who regularly consumed raw onions showed a 20 to 25% reduction in the risk of developing various forms of cancer, such as stomach and colorectal cancer. The researchers concluded that the antioxidants in onions help protect cells from mutations and prevent them from becoming cancerous. An example of a long-lived person who used onions to prevent cancer is Luis Garcia, a resident of Spain who lived 104 years. Luis included fresh onions in his diet every day, believing that it helped him stay healthy and strong. Throughout his life, he avoided serious illnesses, including cancer, and remained in good health until his final years. To get the most out of the antioxidant properties of onions, it is recommended that you consume about 50 grams of fresh onions daily. It can be combined with foods rich in vitamin C, such as bell peppers or kiwi, which helps to improve the absorption of antioxidants and enhance their effects. Onions are best consumed raw, as heat treatment destroys active antioxidants such as quercetin and flavonoids. Those who suffer from gastrointestinal diseases, such as peptic ulcer disease or gastritis, are advised to consult a doctor before starting regular consumption of raw onions, as it can irritate the gastric mucosa. Thus, regular consumption of raw onions, which is rightly considered to be the healthiest food on earth, helps reduce the risk of cancer by 20 to 25% due to its powerful antioxidant properties. This can extend life by 5 to 7 years by protecting cells from damage and maintaining the overall health of the body.